First contact and misunderstanding. The vast expanse of space stretched before Captain Ilara Chen as she guided the Earth exploration vessel Horizon through the uncharted regions of the Andromeda Galaxy. Mankind's first interstellar ship, propelled by revolutionary quantum drive technology, had journeyed farther than any human before. The crew of the Horizon carried the hopes and dreams of billions back on Earth, tasked with seeking out new habitable worlds and potentially making first contact with alien civilizations. As Ilara's eyes scanned the sensor readouts, a faint anomaly caught her attention. "Dr. Pertol," she called out to the ship's lead scientist, "I'm picking up an unusual energy signature. Can you verify?" Dr. Aisha Patel hurried to her station, dark eyes widening as she analyzed the data. "Confirmed, Captain. It's unlike anything we've encountered before. The energy patterns suggest artificial origin." A hush fell over the bridge as the implications sank in. After months of fruitless searching, they might have stumbled upon evidence of an alien presence. Ilara's heart raced, but her voice remained steady as she issued orders. "Helm, adjust course to investigate. Communications, prepare first contact protocols. This is what we've trained for, people. Let's make Earth proud." As the Horizon approached the source of the energy readings, a massive structure came into view. It was a space station of some kind, its design utterly alien, all swirling curves and iridescent materials that seemed to shift and flow. Surrounding it was a fleet of smaller vessels, their purpose unclear. "Captain," the communications officer called out, "we're receiving a transmission. It's singing." A haunting melody filled the bridge, rising and falling in complex harmonies that no human throat could produce. The crew listened, transfixed, as the alien song washed over them. Dr. Patel worked furiously at her console, attempting to decipher the message hidden within the music. "I believe it's a greeting," she said after a moment. "They're welcoming us to their sanctuary, home." The translation is imperfect, but the tone seems peaceful. Ilara nodded, a mixture of relief and excitement coursing through her. "Respond with our own greeting. Use the musical algorithms we developed for first contact scenarios. Let's show them humanity comes in peace." The ship's computer generated a response, a careful blend of Earth's musical traditions woven into a melody that echoed the aliens' own song. They waited, breaths held, for a response. The alien fleet parted, creating a clear path to the space station. It was an invitation, unmistakable even across the gulf of species and culture that separated them. Ilara ordered the Horizon to approach slowly, broadcasting peace and friendship with every movement. As they drew closer, the true scale of the alien structure became apparent. It dwarfed the Horizon, a city in space that could house millions. The iridescent surface rippled, and a docking bay opened like a blooming flower. "Take us in," Ilara commanded, her voice barely above a whisper. "Steady as she goes." The Horizon glided into the alien docking bay, guided by unseen forces that cradled the ship with surprising gentleness. As the docking procedure completed, Ilara turned to her crew. Dr. Patel assembled the first contact team. Full biosafety protocols, but let's try to appear as non-threatening as possible. We're about to make history. Ilara led the small team out of the airlock, stepping onto the alien station for the first time. The atmosphere was breathable, much to their surprise and relief. The corridor they entered was a marvel of organic architecture, pulsing with soft bioluminescence that responded to their presence. They didn't have to wait long for their hosts to appear. 3 tall, willowy figures glided towards them, their bodies seeming to shimmer and change color like the station itself. They had no discernible faces, but a cluster of sensory organs pulsed at the top of their elongated forms. Dr. Patel activated the universal translator as the aliens began to sing once more. The music transformed into words, stilted but understandable. "Welcome, travelers from afar. We are the Harmony, guardians of this sector. Your song reaches across the void, a new voice in the great chorus of the universe. We greet you in peace and curiosity." Ilara stepped forward, bowing slightly in a gesture of respect. "We thank you for your welcome, Harmony. We are humans from the planet Earth, on a mission of peaceful exploration. We come seeking knowledge and friendship among the stars." The aliens' colors shifted, a ripple of what might have been excitement passing through them. "Humans of Earth," they sang, "your arrival fulfills ancient prophecies. The Forbidden Ones spoke of your coming, though we had long dismissed such tales as myth. Tell us, do you bring the key that unlocks the chains of silence?" Confusion flickered across Ilara's face. "I'm sorry, but I don't understand. What key? What chains of silence?" The Harmony's colors darkened, that a song taking on a mournful tone. "You do not know? Then perhaps we have misinterpreted. The prophecy speaks of a young race who would come from beyond, bearing the power to awaken the sleepers and restore that which was lost. We had hoped." Their song trailed off, and Ilara felt a sinking sensation in her stomach. Something had gone wrong, some crucial misunderstanding born of vastly different cultures and expectations. She opened her mouth to speak, to try and salvage the situation, but a new sound cut through the air. Alarms blared, and the station shuddered around them. The Harmony's colors flashed in patterns of distress and fear. "Intruders," they sang, the harmony fracturing into discordant notes. "The silence comes." Before Ilara could react, a blinding light filled the corridor. When her vision cleared, she found herself and her team alone. The harmony had vanished, leaving only emptiness and the echoing wail of alarms. "Back to the ship," Ilara shouted, her training kicking in. "Move." As they raced back to the horizon, Ilara's mind whirled. First contact had gone so wrong so quickly. Who were these silents that inspired such fear in their hosts? And what did it have to do with humanity's arrival? One thing was certain: their mission of peaceful exploration had just become far more complicated. As the airlock closed behind them and Ilara barked orders to prepare for emergency departure, she couldn't shake the feeling that humanity had just been thrust onto a stage far larger and more dangerous than they had ever imagined. The horizon disengaged from the alien station, engines flaring as Ilara ordered them to a safe distance. Through the viewscreen, they watched in horror as sleek, predatory ships materialized from the void. These new arrivals bore no resemblance to the Harmony's organic vessels. They were all sharp angles and weapon ports, radiating menace. "The silence, I presume," Ilara muttered. She turned to her crew, seeing the fear and determination mirrored in their eyes. "Whatever's happening here, we can't just abandon the Harmony. Prep all systems for potential combat, but let's try to talk our way out of this first. We came seeking friendship among the stars. Let's see if we can forge it in fire." As the unknown ships closed in, Ilara steeled herself for the challenges ahead. Humanity's first steps into the galactic community had become a trial by fire, but she was determined to prove that Earth's children were equal to the task. The real test of human ingenuity and spirit was about to begin. The bridge of the horizon thrummed with tension as Captain Ilara Chen watched the menacing ships of the Silence draw ever closer. The Harmony's space station, so recently a beacon of hope and discovery, now stood silent and dark behind them. "Options," Ilara barked, her eyes never leaving the tactical display. Dr. Aisha Patel spoke up first, her voice steady despite the circumstances. "Captain, I've been analyzing the data we gathered from the Harmony's transmission. There are patterns in their song that don't match any known linguistic structure. I think it might be code." Ilara's eyebrows shot up. "Code for what?" "I'm not sure yet, but it's complex. Far beyond anything we've seen before. If we could decrypt it." "Do it," Ilara ordered. "Whatever edge we can get. We need it now." As Aisha bent over her console, fingers flying across the keys, the ship's tactical officer, Lieutenant Ravi Suresh, called out, "Captain, the Silence ships are powering up weapons. They're not responding to hails." Ilara's mind raced. They were outgunned and in unknown territory. Direct confrontation would be suicide. Helm, plot an escape vector. We need to buy time. The Horizon's engines flared to life, but before they could jump to FTL, a crackling energy field sprang up around them. Lieutenant Surish's voice was grim. We're trapped in some kind of containment field. FTL is offline. Ilara clenched her fists. Defensive measures, shields to maximum. The first volley from the silenced ship slammed into the Horizon's shields, the entire ship shuddering under the impact. Ilara was thrown against her chair, klaxons blaring as damage reports flooded in. Shields at 60% and dropping, Shurish reported. We can't take much more of this. Suddenly, Aisha's voice cut through the chaos. I've got it. Captain, the Harmony song, it's not just code, it's a key. A key to something massive, something hidden. Ilara's eyes widened. The prophecy. The key that unlocks the chains of silence. Can you use it? Aisha nodded, her face pale but determined. I think so, but I'll need direct access to the station's systems. Ilara didn't hesitate. Helm, take us back to the station. Full speed. The Horizon pivoted, streaking back towards the dark bulk of the Harmony station. The silenced ships, caught off guard by the sudden maneuver, scrambled to adjust their formation. Shurish, I need a hole in that containment field, Ilara ordered. The tactical officer grinned, a fierce light in his eyes. Already on it, Captain. I've been analyzing their field harmonics. If we modulate our shield frequency just right. A shudder ran through the ship as Shurish implemented his plan. For a heart-stopping moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, with a flash of energy, a section of the containment field flickered and died. Now, Ilara shouted. The Horizon shot through the gap, the silenced ships in hot pursuit. They reached the station in seconds, Ilara guiding them into the same docking bay they used before. Aista, you're with me, Ilara said, unstrapping from her chair. Shurish, you have the bridge. Keep those bastards off our backs. Ilara and Aisha raced through the ship, donning emergency suits as they went. As they reached the airlock, Ilara paused. This is a long shot, Doctor. Are you sure about this? Aisha nodded, her eyes bright with determination behind her faceplate. Sometimes long shots are all we have, Captain. Let's go make history. They cycled through the airlock and sprinted down the pulsing corridors of the alien station. The bioluminescence flickered weakly, as if the station itself was struggling to stay alive. There. Aisha pointed to a console that looked more organic than technological. That's our access point. As Aisha worked, her hands dancing over the alien interface, Ilara kept watch. Through the station's viewport, she could see the Horizon locked in a desperate battle with the silenced ships. Shurish was keeping them at bay for now, but it was only a matter of time. Come on, Ilara muttered. Aisha's voice was tight with concentration. Almost there. The encryption is like nothing I've ever seen, but the Harmony song is the key. It's beautiful, really. A symphony of mathematics and... She was cut off as the station rocked violently. The silence had begun firing on the station itself. Doctor, we're out of time. Got it. Aisha cried triumphantly. The console beneath her hands came to life, pulsing with energy. The entire station began to hum, the song of the Harmony rising around them once more. But this time, it wasn't just music, it was power. Massive sections of the station began to move, reconfiguring themselves like pieces of an impossible puzzle. Energy asked between newly revealed spires and nodes, building to a crescendo. Back to the ship, Ilara ordered. They ran, the station transforming around them. As they reached the Horizon and sealed the airlock, a blinding light erupted from the heart of the station. On the bridge, Ilara watched in awe as the light engulfed the silenced ships. But instead of destroying them, it seemed to change them. The sharp, aggressive lines of their hulls softened, organic patterns blooming across their surfaces. The light faded, and in its wake, the ships hung motionless. After a moment, they began to move again, but with a grace that echoed the Harmony's vessels. "Captain," Shurish called out, his voice filled with wonder. "We're receiving a transmission. It's from the silenced ships." A new song filled the bridge, intertwining with the melody of the harmony. Where before there had been discord, now there was, well, harmony. As the merged songs washed over them, Aisha's eyes widened in understanding. It wasn't a weapon, she breathed. It was a cure. The silence. They were infected somehow. Cut off from the great chorus of the galaxy, we just gave them back their voice. Ilara sank into her chair, the magnitude of what they'd just accomplished washing over her. Humanity's first action on the galactic stage hadn't been one of destruction, but of healing, of bringing together what had been sundered. As the songs of the harmony and the former silence blended into a symphony of gratitude and welcome, Ilara allowed herself a small smile. They had come seeking friendship among the stars, and against all odds, that's exactly what they had found. But even as she basked in the moment of triumph, a part of Ilara knew that this was only the beginning. The galaxy was vast, filled with wonders and dangers beyond imagining. Humanity had proven itself today, but greater challenges lay ahead. The horizon had lived up to its name, crossing the boundary into a new era for Earth and its children. As Ilara looked out at the sea of stars, she felt a tremor of excitement. The true adventure was just beginning. "All right, people," she said, straightening in her chair. "Let's make our new friends comfortable, and then let's see what else this galaxy has in store for us." The crew of the Horizon, representatives of humanity's best and brightest, set to work with renewed purpose. They had faced their trial by fire and emerged victorious, not through force of arms, but through ingenuity, compassion, and the uniquely human ability to find common ground in the face of overwhelming differences. As they prepared to welcome their new allies aboard, Ilara couldn't help but wonder what other miracles and challenges awaited them in the vast, uncharted expanses of the cosmos. Whatever came next, she knew one thing for certain: humanity was ready to face it head-on: alien counterattack and human resilience. The following weeks aboard the Horizon were a whirlwind of activity. Captain Ilara Chen found herself at the center of a diplomatic maelstrom as representatives from both the Harmony and the newly freed Silence ships came aboard to express their gratitude and forge new alliances. Dr. Aisha Patel was in her element, working tirelessly to understand the complex biotechnology that had allowed them to break the Silence's affliction. The more she learned, the more her eyes sparkled with excitement. "It's incredible, Captain," Aisha explained during one of their daily briefings. The Harmony's entire civilization is built on the principles of cosmic resonance. Their technology, their biology, even their social structures, all of it is interwoven with these complex harmonics. Ilara nodded, trying to wrap her head around the concepts. And the silence. What exactly happened to them? Aisha's expression turned grave. "From what we've pieced together, they were victims of a weapon deployed eons ago in a war long forgotten. It didn't kill them. It did something far worse. It cut them off from the cosmic symphony that all sentient life in this part of the galaxy seems to be attuned to. Imagine being struck deaf, blind, and numb all at once, but on a cosmic scale." "Good God," Ilara murmured. "No wonder they lashed out." "Exactly. But here's the fascinating part. The key to curing them was hidden in the Harmony song all along. They just lacked the fresh perspective needed to see it." Ilara smiled. "Sometimes it takes an outsider to solve an inside problem." Their conversation was interrupted by an urgent call from the bridge. "Captain, to the bridge immediately." Ilara and Aisha exchanged worried glances before rushing to their stations. As they entered, the view screen showed a terrifying sight. A massive fleet of ships, far larger and more numerous than anything they'd encountered before, was emerging from FTL at the edge of the system. Lieutenant Surish's voice was tense as he reported, "Unknown vessels, Captain, but their energy signatures match remnants we detected in the Silence ships. I think this might be where they came from." Ilara's blood ran cold. If these newcomers were anything like the Silence had been, They were in for the fight of their lives. The comm system crackled to life, and a harsh, discordant sound filled the bridge. It was like the silence's transmissions, but 1,000 times more potent. Several crew members clutched their heads in pain. Isa, her face pale, worked furiously at her console. "It's a message, Captain. But it's not just sound, there's some kind of viral code embedded in it. Our systems are barely holding it off." Ilara gritted her teeth. "Can you translate it?" After a moment, Aisha nodded grimly. "Roughly. They're calling themselves the Discord. They're demanding we turn over the abominations we've created. They're talking about the cured silenced ships." "Like hell," Ilara growled. She opened a channel to their allies. "Harmony, form a silence. We have incoming hostiles. A lot of them. Form up around the station. We stand together." As their Galactic fleet assembled, Ilara couldn't help but feel a twinge of fear. They were outnumbered and outgunned, but they had something the Discord didn't: unity. The Discord fleet opened fire, a barrage of energy weapons and viral data packets slamming into their defenses. The horizon rocked under the assault, shields straining. "Return fire," Ilara ordered. "Shurish, coordinate with our allies. Let's show these bastards what harmony really means." The battle was fierce and chaotic. The Discord's weapons were devastating, capable of not just physical damage, but of undoing the very cure they'd worked so hard to implement. Several of the former silenced ships fell silent once more, drifting lifelessly in space. But for every ship they lost, the Alliance fought back harder. The Harmony's organic vessels moved with impossible grace, weaving between enemy fire. The cured silenced ships, remembering their former tactics, struck with precision at the Discord's weak points. And at the center of it all was the Horizon, the tiny human ship that had started it all. Ilara pushed her crew and her ship to their limits, using every trick and tactic they'd ever learned or imagined. Hours into the battle, as hope began to fade, Aisha's voice cut through the din of combat. "Captain, I've got something." Ilara ducked as a console exploded nearby. "Make it quick, Doctor." The Discord's ships, they're not just broadcasting that signal, they're dependent on it. It's like a hive mind. If we could disrupt it at the source. Ilara's mind raced. "Can you locate the source?" Aisha nodded, her fingers flying over her console. "I think so. It's that big one in the center. But we'd need to get close, too close." For a moment, Ilara was silent, weighing their options. They were losing this battle. If they did nothing, everything they'd fought for would be lost. She made her decision. "Helm, plot a course for that command ship. All power to engines and forward shields." She opened a channel to their allies. "This is Captain Chen. We're going to attempt to take out their command ship. We need cover." The response was immediate. The Harmony and former Silence ships closed ranks around the horizon, taking the brunt of the Discord's fire as the human vessels streaked towards its target. "Aisha," Ilara called out, "I need a weapon. Something that will disrupt their signal for good." The scientist's eyes lit up with understanding. "The cure. If we could broadcast it at high enough power, right at the heart of their fleet." "Do it." As they closed in on the Discord command ship, the horizon shuddered under direct fire. Alerts blared as systems failed across the ship. "Shields failing," Shurish reported. "Hull breaches on decks 3 through 7. Ilara gripped her chair. "Reroute all remaining power to Aisha's station. This is our only shot." The Discord command ship loomed before them, a twisted monstrosity of metal and malice. As the last of the Horizon's shields failed and enemy weapons fire began to tear into the hull, Aisha activated her jury-rigged broadcast. A pure, crystalline tone cut through the chaos of battle. It started soft, almost imperceptible, but quickly grew in strength and complexity. The song of the Harmony, the voices of the cured Silence, and something uniquely human all blended together into a symphony of life and hope. The effect on the Discord ships was immediate and dramatic. They began to shudder and twist, as if fighting against themselves. The barrage of fire slackened, then stopped altogether. On the horizon's failing bridge, Ilara and her crew watched in awe as the Discord fleet began to transform. The sharp, aggressive lines of their ships softened, blooming with the same organic patterns they'd seen on the cured Silence vessels. As the last notes of their improvised cure faded away, an eerie silence fell over the battlefield. Then, slowly at first but with growing confidence, a new song began. The Discord fleet, now freed from their affliction, joined the cosmic symphony. Ilara slumped in her chair, exhaustion and relief washing over her in equal measure. They had done it. Against all odds, humanity had not only survived its trial by fire, but had brought healing to a conflict older than Earth itself. As the newly cued ships began to broadcast messages of gratitude and apology, Ilara turned to her battered but unbroken crew. "Well done, all of you. Let's see about repairs, and then I think we have some new friends to meet." The battle was over, but Ilara knew their journey was far from finished. They had changed the face of this sector of the galaxy forever. Now came the hard part, building a lasting peace. As the horizon limped back towards the Harmony Station, flanked by allies old and new, Ilara couldn't help but smile. Humanity had proven itself on the galactic stage not through superior firepower or technology, but through creativity, compassion, and an unwavering resilience in the face of overwhelming odds. Whatever challenges lay ahead, Ilara was certain of one thing: the children of Earth were ready to face them, in harmony with their new allies among the stars. In the weeks following the battle with the Discord, the horizon became the center of a whirlwind of diplomatic activity. Captain Ilara Chen found herself thrust into the role of mediator between the various factions, the Harmony, the cured Silence, and the newly freed Discord. The Harmony Station, once a sanctuary, had been transformed into a hub of interstellar cooperation. Ships of all shapes and sizes docked and departed, carrying representatives, scientists, and cultural exchanges between the different species. Ilara stood at the viewport in her quarters, watching the bustle of activity outside. Dr. Aisha Patel joined her, a datapad in hand. "It's remarkable, isn't it?" Aisha said, her eyes bright with excitement. "A month ago, we were alone in the universe. Now look at us, at the center of a galactic alliance." Ilara nodded, a small smile playing on her lips. "We've certainly made an impression, but I can't help feeling we've only scratched the surface of what's out here." As if on cue, the ship's AA chimed in. "Captain, we're receiving a priority transmission from the Harmony Council. They're requesting your presence immediately." Ilara and Aisha exchanged glances. "Duty calls," Ilara said with a sigh. "Let's see what new challenge awaits us today." They made their way to the station's Grand Council chamber, a vast, organic space that seemed to pulse with life. Representatives from all the allied species were gathered, their bodies of wildly different shapes and sizes, but all thrumming with the same underlying harmony. The lead counselor, a being of shimmering light named Aria, greeted them warmly. "Captain Chen, Dr. Patel, thank you for coming. We have a situation that requires your unique perspective." Ilara tensed, ready for bad news. "What's happened?" Aria's light pulsed in what Ilara had come to recognize as a sign of excitement. "Our long-range sensors have detected something extraordinary. A massive structure hidden at the edge of the galaxy. We believe it may be the source." "The source?" Aisha asked, leaning forward. Another counselor, a former Discord named Dissonance, spoke up. His voice was a blend of harsh tones and melodic undercurrents. "The origin of the great song, the wellspring from which all harmony and discord flows. We thought it was just a myth, but now..." Ilara's mind raced with the implications. "You want us to investigate?" Aria nodded, her light dimming slightly. "We do. But we must warn you, the journey will be perilous. The region around the structure is unstable. Reality itself seems to fluctuate there. None of our ships can withstand the distortions. But you think the horizon can, Ilara finished, understanding dawning. Your ship's quantum drive, dissonance explained, it operates on principles we barely understand. It might just be able to navigate the chaos. Ilara turned to Aisha, seeing her own mix of excitement and apprehension mirrored in the scientist's eyes. What do you think, Doctor? Can we do this? Aisha's response was immediate. We have to try. The scientific possibilities alone, not to mention the potential to unify our alliance even further. Ilara nodded, decision made. We'll need to modify the horizon, integrate some of your harmonic technology, and I want a joint crew, representatives from all our allies. The council agreed enthusiastically, and the next few days were a flurry of activity. The horizon was overhauled, its systems augmented with biotech from the Harmony and weapon systems from the former Discord. A crew was assembled, the best and brightest from each species, all eager to be part of this historic mission. As they made final preparations to depart, Ilara addressed her expanded crew. Humans stood shoulder to shoulder with the towering forms of the Harmony, the crystalline structures of the former Silence, and the now melodious bodies of the freed Discord. We stand on the brink of the unknown, Ilara began, her voice carrying through the ship. What we find out there may change everything we think we know about the universe. But whatever challenges we face them together. Not as separate species, but as a unified force of life and harmony. A chorus of agreement rang out, the various voices blending into a stirring symphony. Ilara felt a swell of pride and determination. This was what humanity had dreamed of for centuries, not just reaching the stars, but finding kinship among them. The horizon detached from the station, its enhanced engines humming with power. As they prepared to make the jump to the mysterious coordinates, Aisha turned to Ilara, her eyes shining. You know, whatever we find out there, we've already achieved something incredible. We've brought together species that were at war for eons. We've healed rifts we didn't even know existed. Ilara nodded, a smile tugging at her lips. That we have, Doctor. But something tells me our greatest challenge, and our greatest discovery, still lies ahead. With a final check of systems, Ilara gave the order. Take us out, Helm. Let's see what the universe has in store for us. The horizon leaped into quantum space, streaking towards the edge of the galaxy. As they traveled, the very fabric of space-time began to warp around them. Strange energies buffeted the ship, and reality itself seemed to flicker and shift. The alien crew members sang in harmony, their voices stabilizing the ship's passage through the chaos. Aisha worked frantically at her station, correlating data and making constant adjustments to their course. Captain, she called out, her voice tense with excitement, undetecting something ahead. It's like nothing I've ever seen. The view screen flickered to life, and a collective gasp went up from the crew. Before them floated a structure of impossible size and complexity. It was a sphere, but not a sphere. Its surface shifted and changed constantly, fractal patterns blooming and fading in endless variation. The source, one of the Harmony crew members whispered in awe. As they drew closer, tendrils of energy reached out from the structure, enveloping the horizon in a cocoon of light. Ilara tensed, ready for anything, but the ship remained undamaged. Captain, Aisha's voice was filled with wonder. It's communicating with us. Not with words or even music, but pure information. She trailed off, her eyes going wide. The rest of the crew seemed similarly affected, each species reacting in their own unique way to the flood of knowledge. Ilara felt it too, a vast, ancient consciousness touching her mind. Images and concepts flickered through her thoughts, too fast and too alien to fully comprehend. But some things came through clearly. The source was a construct, built eons ago by a long-vanished race. It was part archive, part musical instrument of cosmic scale. It sang the song of creation, maintaining the delicate balance of harmony and discord that allowed life to flourish in the galaxy. But it was dying. The constant wars, the weaponization of harmony and discord, had taken their toll. The source needed new caretakers, new perspectives to renew its song. As the flow of information subsided, Ilara looked around at her crew. In their eyes, she saw the same realization, the same sense of purpose. "We've been given a choice," she said, her voice soft but firm, "to take up the mantle of guardians, to learn the song of creation and help shape the future of our galaxy." The response was unanimous. Human, harmony, former silence, and freed discord all raised their voices in agreement. They had come seeking knowledge and unity and found a destiny beyond their wildest dreams. As the Horizon docked with the Source, its crew preparing to embark on their greatest adventure yet, Ilara couldn't help but smile. Humanity's journey to the stars had led them not to conquest or destruction, but to a role of cosmic importance. They would be the bridge between the old song and the new, helping to weave a harmony that would resound through the ages. The future was unwritten, full of challenges and wonders yet unimagined. But whatever lay ahead, they would face it together, their voices joined in the endless, ever-changing symphony of the universe. The integration with the Source was unlike anything Captain Ilara Chen or her diverse crew had ever experienced. As they stepped from the horizon onto the shifting, fractal surface of the cosmic construct, they found themselves immersed in a sea of pure information and harmony. Dr. Aisha Patel's eyes were wide with wonder as she tried to process the influx of knowledge. It's like the entire history of the universe is here, Captain. Every song ever sung, every story ever told." Ilara nodded, feeling the weight of eons pressing on her mind. "And now it's up to us to continue that story." The next few weeks were a whirlwind of discovery and adaptation. Each species brought their unique perspective to the task of understanding and maintaining the Source. The harmony's innate connection to cosmic rhythms allowed them to navigate the complex harmonies. The former silence, with their experience of both discord and redemption, provided crucial insights into maintaining balance. The freed discord brought a fierce creativity, their once destructive energies now channeled into crafting new melodies within the cosmic song. And humanity, they brought curiosity, adaptability, and an unquenchable drive to understand and improve. Ilara watched with pride as her human crew threw themselves into their tasks with characteristic determination. Engineers worked alongside harmony architects to repair damaged sections of the Source. Scientists collaborated with former silence researchers to decrypt ancient data streams. And diplomats engaged in complex negotiations with freed discord representatives, ensuring that all voices were heard in the new galactic chorus. But as they delved deeper into the Source's systems, they uncovered a troubling truth. The damage to the cosmic construct was more severe than they had initially realized. Centuries of war and misuse had created deep rifts in the fabric of space-time itself. During an emergency meeting in the heart of the Source, a shimmering chamber that pulsed with the rhythm of distant stars, Aisha laid out the situation. "The Source is trying to heal itself," she explained, her voice tight with concern. "But the process is causing instabilities throughout the galaxy. If we don't find a way to stabilize it soon, entire star systems could be wiped out." A murmur of alarm ran through the assembled representatives. Aria, the Harmony Counselor, spoke up. "What can be done?" "Surely with our combined knowledge." Ilara stepped forward, a plan already forming in her mind. "We need to synchronize our efforts, not just here at the Source, but across the entire galaxy." She turned to Aisha. "Doctor, is it possible to create a network of harmonic resonators, something that could channel and amplify the Source's healing energies?" Aisha's eyes lit up with understanding. Yes, it could work. We need to position them at key points throughout the galaxy, but the calculations required to maintain stability would be immense. "We can handle the calculations," offered Dissonance, the former discord. "Our minds are well suited to processing complex harmonies." Ilara nodded, feeling a surge of hope. Then, let's get to work. We'll need every ship, every world, every being in the Alliance to play their part. The plan was ambitious, arguably the largest cooperative effort in galactic history. Ships were dispatched to every corner of the galaxy, carrying harmonic resonators and crews trained to attune them to local conditions. The Horizon, with its unique quantum drive, took on the most dangerous missions, venturing into areas of extreme space-time distortion. As the network of resonators grew, the effects began to be felt. Worlds that had been ravaged by discord started to heal. Species long cut off from the cosmic symphony found their voices again. But the strain on the source, and on those directing the efforts from within it, was immense. Ilara stood at her post in the source's control chamber, sweat beading on her brow as she coordinated the efforts of thousands of ships and billions of beings. Aisha worked beside her, her fingers dancing across holographic interfaces as she fine-tuned the resonator network. "We're almost there," Aisha said, her voice hoarse from hours of non-stop work. "The harmonic convergence is at 97%, just a little more." Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the chamber. The source shuddered, and streams of data turned red. "What's happening?" Ilara demanded. One of the harmony operators answered, their voice tight with stress. "Critical instability detected in Sector 9. The resonator there is failing. If it goes down, it could create a cascading failure across the entire network." Ilara's mind raced. Sector 9 was at the very edge of the galaxy, an area of extreme gravitational flux. No ship could survive there long enough to repair the resonator. No ship except one. "Horizon," Ilara said, her decision made. "Plot a course for Sector 9, maximum speed." Aisha looked at her, understanding and fear in her eyes. "Ilara, the risks are necessary," Ilara finished. "We've come too far to fail now. Humanity wanted to make its mark on the galaxy. This is how we do it." The journey to Sector 9 was a gauntlet of spatial anomalies and gravitational shears. The Horizon's enhanced systems strained against forces that defied the laws of physics. But the ship held together, its human and alien crew working in perfect harmony to keep them on course. As they approached the failing resonator, the true scale of the challenge became clear. The device was caught in the gravitational flux between two colliding galaxies, energies beyond imagining tearing at its structure. "We'll never get close enough to repair it," Aisha said, her voice filled with despair. But Ilara had one last card to play. "We don't have to repair it, we have to become it." Understanding dawned on the faces of her crew. The Horizon itself, with its quantum drive and hybrid systems, could serve as a resonator, but doing so would consume the ship entirely. Ilara opened a channel to the source. "This is Captain Chen. We're going to use the Horizon to stabilize the harmonic network, but we'll need everything you've got to boost the signal." Back in the source, the various species representatives looked at each other in awe. What the humans were proposing was nothing short of sacrificial. Without a word, they joined hands, tentacles, and energy fields, channeling every ounce of power the source could muster. On the bridge of the Horizon, Ilara took one last look at her crew, human and alien alike, all united in common purpose. "It's been an honor," she said simply. With that, she engaged the quantum drive at full power. The Horizon shot forward into the heart of the gravitational maelstrom. As the ship's structure began to break apart, its energy melded with that of the resonator network. Ilara felt her consciousness expanding, merging with the cosmic song. In that moment, she understood everything. The true nature of harmony and discord, the delicate balance that allowed life to flourish, the interconnectedness of all things. And she knew that what they were doing would echo through eternity. The Horizon disappeared in a blaze of light that outshone the colliding galaxies, but its energy, amplified by the source and carried by the resonator network, swept across the universe. Rifts in space-time healed, dying stars reignited, and everywhere, the song of creation rang out stronger and more beautiful than ever before. In the source's control chamber, Aisha watched through tears as the harmonic convergence reached 100%. The galaxy was safe. More than that, it was renewed, ready to enter a new age of cooperation and discovery. As the celebration erupted around her, Aisha's thoughts turned to Ilara and the crew of the Horizon. They were gone, yes, but not lost. Their sacrifice had become part of the cosmic symphony, their spirits woven into the very fabric of the universe. In the years that followed, the alliance flourished. The knowledge gained from the source ushered in an unprecedented era of peace and discovery. New species were welcomed into the galactic community, each adding their unique voice to the cosmic chorus. And at the heart of it all was the legacy of humanity. Not conquerors, not destroyers, but unifiers. The species that had looked up at the stars and dared to dream, that had faced impossible odds with ingenuity and determination, that had shown the galaxy the true meaning of sacrifice and hope. As new generations of humans ventured out into the stars, they carried with them the story of the Horizon and its brave crew. It was a reminder that in the vast, often daunting expanse of the cosmos, the human spirit could shine as brightly as any star. The adventure that had begun with a single ship's journey into the unknown had transformed into a saga of galactic proportions. And though challenges would always arise, the united species of the galaxy faced the future with confidence, knowing that together there was no harmony they could not achieve, no discord they could not overcome. For in the end, they had learned the greatest lesson of all, that the truest strength comes not from dominance, but from unity. And in that unity, born of human perseverance and alien wisdom, lay the promise of a future limited only by the bounds of imagination itself.